All right, welcome everybody on Facebook Live. Welcome everybody to the class that we have locally. We are talking about women's health and hormones. And boy, do we have them. I've just been experiencing them in the last few minutes. Hormones can dictate so many emotions. Yes, they can. And they can be anywhere from here to here. And I am going to help you today learn about some essential oils and some practices that we can do to help to stabilize and harmonize our hormones. And I'm going to have somebody help me. My name is Kristen Van Wey. I'm here today to teach you about some of the things that I've learned along my journey working with dōTERRA. I've been with dōTERRA for 5.5 years now. And every single day I wake up very grateful for the essential oils that I have in my home. Many of you know that I started out my journey with Lyme disease, and so I started with a physical ailment that I needed to support my body with. But with that comes the emotions. And so we can't separate emotions from the physical body, nor can we separate our hormones from the other things that are happening within our lives. So I want to share today some things that were very powerful to me along my journey of health and healing. It's a continual process. Everything that we do either strengthens us or brings us back. So we're going to talk about ways that we can help to support better life choices. And having said that, I want you to know that anything that I say tonight is not a claim. We don't prevent, we don't cure disease, we don't even treat it, right? We work with the body. I believe that the body was designed to heal itself. And when the body heals itself, by given the proper tools, then symptoms go away, right? If you have a broken bone or something like that, or you're working with your medical practitioner, it's very important to keep that up. And essential oils are very complementary, regardless of what you're going through. So just know that that's what we're going to be talking. It's about two friends getting together and sharing what we've learned about being a woman, and maybe even sharing that with a few of the men we love, because our hormones are so important, our lives are important, and so many things. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Okay? We know right now that this industry is $6.5 trillion with a T. And that is a really big number. That is what we're spending on our health care today. And are we healthier because of that? What do you guys think? No? I don't think so either. I think that the numbers keep escalating. I think that we're asking the wrong questions a lot of times. And I believe that there are other things that we can do for foundational health that will make all of the difference. Our first line of defense should be lifestyle and the way that we choose to live. That is mind, body, and spirit. And when we choose to bring those together in healthy choices, then the body will heal itself for the most part. Now, we know when we need our doctors, but $6.5 trillion or more, and we're not the healthiest country in the world. In fact, we're number 33 in the world. I'm not very proud of that number when we have the amount of technology that we do in this country. So hormones, what do? Hormones are the body's chemical messengers. We need it for almost everything that happens, and they travel through the bloodstream into the tissues. And we know that hormones and managing hormone care has to be done over time. It's not something that you're going to have an immediate response with a natural treatment or health protocol that we do, but it's responsible for growth and development. It's responsible for our sexual function, reproduction, the way that we feel, and it's really important for our metabolism. So all of these roles and responsibilities are right on the hands of our hormones. When you're younger, hormones are produced mostly in the ovaries, and as you get through menopause, it switches and it goes into the adrenal glands. So let's notice something about our adrenal glands. Adrenal glands are really important for all of the hormones it produces, but think about your fight, flight, or freeze response. Think about the cortisol levels in your body. Think about the ways that you put your body through stress. Now, I was on a walk this morning, and I heard the sirens go off. The tornado sirens that we have every single Wednesday to prepare us in Tennessee if there was an actual tornado. We need to know how to act and what to do. And the thoughts that came to my mind today when I heard those sirens were, what does it feel like to be in a body where it's always on fight, flight, or freeze? where the sirens are always in the back of the mind and something is always telling you that something's not right. Like there's not a place of peace and calm. And so it's very important that as we're thinking about and talking about these chemical messengers that we realize how much they have to do with the state of stress in our bodies, right? Imagine that you have 50 different hormones approximately in your body. 50. And good thing we don't have to track it all with our conscious mind because there's no way that we could manage this. But look at all of the different centers of our body, this entire endocrine system that is managed by these chemical messengers. So it's very important to take care of all of these organ systems. Look at that. Did you realize hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, heart? We don't often hear about the heart when we talk about our hormones. Adrenals, kidney, stomach, pancreas, small intestines. Of course, for women, ovaries and testes if you're a man. And these are where those hormones are produced, managed, and kept in harmony. Okay. How do we get hormones? They're produced through fats and cholesterols. So we need to make sure that we have a healthy balance of the good fats in our diet. I think a lot of times in society, there's a lot of us who want to lose weight, and oftentimes we go on low-fat diets, which is not always the best move. Because for some of us, we're not going to have the right hormonal balance when we do some of these crash diets. We have to do things that are going to be sustainable over time. So we do teach a class on healthy weight loss and having to do with your mindset and also the way that your body stores fat in the body. The fat-soluble toxins are put into fat cells and the safety to protect your body. So we want to make sure when we tie all this together with, say, weight loss, that often comes as our hormones change. I don't know, I'm reaching that 50 mark up there, getting closer, and I know that my body's changing. I notice that my hormones are starting to change. Maybe some of you guys, we'll talk about menopause in a little bit, but maybe some of you guys also notice that as you age, as your body, even from just being a young woman into your 20s, into your 30s, 40s, that your body just feels a little bit different. And so it's important that as we look to losing weight, that we look to lifestyle as a whole, and that we also look to making sure that we have a healthy balance of these fats. Not too much, but not too little. There's always this harmony that we have to find, and each one of our bodies are very, very different. So we have to find the rhythm and the pattern that our body wants to feel healthy. We need the building blocks, and that is your vitamins and your minerals and your superfoods and all of these things, your fats, to make yourself healthy. So a lot of times we have hormone replacement therapy. Those are options that come as your hormones begin to change. And we would like to recommend that you work with your practitioner on whatever decision is best for you on that. And we also want you to know that there are healthy things that you can do because there are higher risks of a lot of different things like breast cancer and types of cancer when you have this HRT. And this is important to understand also about stroke. Your risks are increased, and also cardiovascular disease when you start introducing a chemical replacement for your hormones. Okay. So let's talk about one of my favorite subjects. Let's talk about essential oils and how it relates to hormones and women's health. Okay, so we're going to go through some just basic information on essential oils, and you can know right off the bat that essential oils are basic aromatic compounds that are found naturally in plants. Not all plants have aromatic compounds, but the ones that do, they're going to be found in the root, the bark, the stems, the leaf, the flowers, and they are going to have the part that smells good. So for an example, I have some peppermint. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. If you took a peppermint leaf in your hand and you rubbed it together, those little tiny aromatic compounds are sacs on that leaf, and you're going to be able to pop those and you're going to be able to smell it. That is what is in this bottle, right? So you've smelled the aromatic compounds of lavender. Maybe you've smelled lemon if you squeeze an orange peel or a lemon peel, that little spray that comes out. That's what we cold press. That's what we distill so that we can get all of these into the bottle in its purity and in its entirety. All right, so again, here's peppermint. I'm going to go ahead and pass this around. If you're at home and you have peppermint, take your peppermint out because we're going to we're going to experience it firsthand. And you don't need very much of the oils. Peppermint's actually very concentrated. Some say that 1 drop of this oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea on a therapeutic level. So you don't need much. And you also want to avoid your eyes. You want to avoid sensitive parts of the body. If you have very, very sensitive skin, you might want to dilute your oils. That would be okay too. But you can see these little sacs. These are the aromatic compounds that we are now passing around. So what do you guys think? What is some of your favorite uses for peppermint?
Quick energy.
Quick energy. It does. It's really invigorating, isn't it? Yeah.
Attention.
Head tension. So you might just rub it anywhere. It cools you off. I like it in my water because it does have a systemic cooling on my whole body. So for those of you who might experience this rising in temperature sometimes when your hormones are shifting, a little bit of this on the back of your neck. Put it in a spray bottle. Right? Those are ways that you could cool your body down very quickly. I like it on a rag if I'm working out in the yard or in the garden, something like that. So those are all ways that you can use peppermint. You can see through here. You can even use it as a breath freshener. You can put a little drop in your mouth. We have little peppermint beadlets as well that you can do that with. And I like it to bring the temperature down of my children if we need that. Right? So peppermint has a lot of uses. Also on the emotional, since we're talking about hormones, this oil happens to be one of the best oils that we have to break through cloudy feelings. So if you're feeling down and you're feeling a little bit sad and you need to have clarity, you need to focus, you need to be invigorated or awakened, put this in the diffuser. You might even put some wild orange with it. It's a really good combination. But you want to be able to have these oils around you so that when you need them, they're right there. And just simply a drop in your hand, you can rub it. You can actually just inhale it. If you ever get an essential oil in your eye, I've done it. Yeah, have you guys done that? I think we've all done it, just like even right now if I were to, rub my hand too close to my eye. You can dilute it with coconut oil. doTERRA sells this fractionated coconut oil. Go in and get some raw coconut oil, even olive oil will work, and just rub that into your eye and it will take the pain away very quickly. If it's too hot on your skin, just put a little bit of oil, a fatty-based oil, and it will take the pain away very quickly. Okay. They are very, very potent. You don't need very much. In fact, when we're working with the emotional side of things, less is actually more. The oils work on a cellular level, and our bodies don't have the ability to have a resistance toward it because each plant is a little bit different. The soil, the sunlight, the temperatures, right? The different insects and pathogens that play with these plants, they're all different. And so anytime that they're distilled, they're always going to be just a little bit different. And I think that that's a powerful reason to use essential oils because our bodies can have that resistance when we use things like antibiotics in our system. All right, you can see here how this is your cell wall. When you have a virus, they attack the cell on the inside. Bacteria typically is on the outside of the cell, not always. These are generalities, but when you have an essential oil, because this is a lipid membrane and this is permeable to the lipid membrane. And that's really nice because now we have a way to reach inside the cell and we actually have an ability to work with the blood-brain barrier. Very, very few products can actually reach into that brain tissue, and that is a gift that we have. So I love to use the oils on my spine. So you're feeling a little tense, your body's changing, hormones are peaking or something like that, you can just massage them into the spine and feel much better right away, I think. All right? There are four main grades of essential oils. Essential oils start out here. The majority of oils that we use are synthetic. Those are the things that you get in your beauty products, the things down the aisles that you have right now most likely in your home. It could be your cleaning products. It could be any of those things. These things are synthetic. They're not even real essential oils. They're a mirror image of them, and they don't have any therapeutic benefit at all. But the majority oils fit into that category. It's very expensive to distill and manufacture a very pure oil, and so they're not interested in that. They just want the smell. As you move into a food grade, those are things like in the peppermint aisle for your peppermint patties or your candy or your chewing gum. They're generally recognized as safe. They're not going to harm you, but they're also not going to be therapeutic, and they're not going to benefit. In fact, they cause more of a toxic load into your body. And then as you move to the market that we see right now on the rise, there are so many companies selling essential oils. People who don't know a lot about it, but they want to get in on this really large growing field. They are going to have some therapeutic oils available. And then there's certified pure therapeutic grade. That is what doTERRA carries. It's going to be on every single bottle that we have. You can look and you can find that label. And what that means, that is a set of standards that doTERRA has created to make sure that we raise the bar in the way that we use our oils. So certified pure therapeutic grade means that every single bottle has gone through up to 10 different computer analysis to make sure that what is in this bottle is pure. It says what is in the bottle, and it also tells us what is not in the bottle. And that's really the difference between a CPTG oil and a therapeutic. Is often these will be free from pesticides, but it doesn't mean that it's actually therapeutic grade and that it's going to be effective, right? So there's a difference between being pure and actually being effective, because you can have an organic plant, but it doesn't have the constituents to make it really good for burns. That's why there's hundreds of types of lavender, but there are a few that doTERRA chose that will be most appropriate for burns and for calming, things like that. We are beyond organic. We are third-party tested, and we get all of our materials from where they grow in their native cultures. All right? That's very important. We want them grown where we know that they are therapeutic quality. All right, how do we use essential oils? The first way that we can use essential oils is I asked you to put a drop of peppermint in your hands. So that's called aromatic. The aromatic use of the oils is going to do a couple of things. So what do you guys think aromatics do? What do you use aromatic plants for in your house?
Mood, for sure.
Mood is probably the biggest one. So yes, Danielle, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Mood and emotions, because when you breathe an oil in, it goes directly into your brain chemistry. It's the fastest way in to that center, that limbic center of our brain that helps us to regulate and manage emotions. What an amazing tool to be able to choose a specific plant to target different areas of the brain and the emotions that we feel. I love having a book on emotions and oils. This book right here, Emotions and Essential Oils, you can purchase this at any essential oil outlet, but I usually get mine sometimes on Amazon. And it's a great one because, for example, you can look up we're working on peppermint right now still. So if I look up peppermint, I can read an entire grouping on the emotional aspects of this oil. Unbearable pain, intense. Okay, here's my need. I'm going to break them out. All right, unbearable pain, intense despair, heaviness, pessimistic, or muddled. Or would you rather feel buoyant, optimistic, clear, relieved, renewed, strength to face emotional pain? That's what I was talking about earlier. And you can use these books to really help you identify. If you go to the back of the book, what's great about it is you can identify a feeling. I'll say to my clients sometimes, give me one word that describes how you feel right now. And as they think of that word, they'll look it up in the book. And the book will give you 3 or 4 different choices. And then you can look it up and find, no, it's not peppermint. I don't think so. I think it's actually petitgrain. Right? You'll find what it is that you're looking for. So this is a helpful resource tool that you can look up the oils. So the emotional aspect is definitely aromatic. You also aromatically, when we put it in diffusers, when we breathe it in, we have the ability to kill viruses and bacteria in the air before it reaches us. So this is our first line of defense. Wouldn't it be great if the bacteria that gets on doorknobs and in furniture and people are coughing, that this will counteract that? What a great tool to have in our homes. So mood and emotion, and aromatically to kill viruses in the air. Breathe it in, support the respiratory system. The second way that we can do it is we can take it internally. Oils used internally internally should be certified pure, therapeutic grade. That is the only oils that I would choose to put inside my body. We can drink it in water. We can put it in a little veggie cap as in the picture. We can make our own little capsules. We can, what did we say? Drink it in water, veggie caps, drop in your tongue, put it in food. We cook with our oils all the time. Do you guys? Yep. Roof of the mouth. I like to put a drop here and massage the roof of my mouth. There's some energy center points there that really calm the system very quickly. So aromatically, internally, and topically. Our oils are so safe. You can use them on your little babies. You can use them on your body. If you have sensitive skin, feel free to dilute those. And we also have a whole diluted roller bottle line just for children and elderly, and even your pets. Because our pets don't need as much, but we do definitely use them topically on our pets. Some people use them internally with their pets. We clean with them. We make our own cleaners. There's a do-it-yourself page for doTERRA, so we're constantly posting recipes that will help to support you. And as Jessica mentioned a minute ago, is that we can use the oils in food. Now, I will warn you that you need a very, very little bit. Do not think you're getting, rosemary oil and rosemary leaf are the same thing. They're not. The marjorams and the rosemaries and the black peppers and lemongrass and cinnamon and cassia, oregano. Oh, use a toothpick if you're using oregano. It means business. It means some serious business. So that's how we use oils, and how we integrate those into our hormones and our women's health is just when we reduce the toxic load in our homes and when we are exposed on this type of a level with this pure of a product, it's going to help your hormones. It's going to help the way that you feel. So kind of think about the different ways that you can use oils in your home and see if you can make some changes in your environment, because that makes a big difference to the way that you feel on a hormonal level. So one of the oils that we love for hormones is lavender. Lavender is a great oil. So Jessica's going to go ahead and pass the lavender around the room. And lavender is about all things calming. All things are calming. So it's very soothing to the skin. It's when you want to sleep well. But it really does help and promote healthy hormones. Lavender's been used for hormones for a long, long time. I love how it feels in a bathtub or just helping me sleep. If I've got a cut, a scrape, a burn, or a bruise, I'm always really grateful to have lavender. So calming your mind, calming your body, all of those things make a huge difference. All right, frankincense. This is the king of all oils. It helps on a cellular level. It's great for the neurological system. This is great for stimulating and elevating your mind. This is one of the oils, this was the most important oil that I used when I had my Lyme disease, because I had neurological Lyme. It affected the way that my nervous system ran on a daily basis. It affected my eyes and the way that my brain thought. I had mystery pains all over my body and chest issues. And this oil worked with my body system to help bring me some calm. It helped work with that. So you can look this oil up. It has a lot of properties to help protect you on a cellular basis. It can help protect the DNA. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. This is an excellent oil. If I had one oil on a desert island, it is going to be frankincense across the line, because it may not be my favorite smelling oil, but it is definitely my most effective oil if I have one to choose from, because there's so many different chemicals inside there that it can target a lot of different areas of the body. So this one here, just instilling calmness to the nervous system on the spine. You can put a drop in your hand. You can smell it. You can mix it with a citrus or some other oils. And if you have a book like this one's called The Essential Life. We really like this. There's also one called Modern Essentials. Couple of other ones out there as well, but you can look up, like this page is all about first aid. You can look up frankincense. It will tell you about the chemicals in it. They'll tell you how to use it. It's got at a glance for different things that you're going through. And so knowing that, if I had a bottle of frankincense, it's going to give me a lot of uses for that. We want all of you to know how to use your oils. We don't want them just in your home. We actually want you to use them on a daily basis. And so just pick an oil a week and start playing with it. taste it, touch it, smell it, put it in the diffuser, and learn how to use these oils. So this one here is one of our best oils for inflammation as well, internally and externally. So I use this oil every day when I get out of bed. I literally just put a drop in my mouth. It's sitting near my bedside stand because I like how it feels and the clarity, and I'm more into prevention these days than waiting until I get sick. So I'm always going to err on the side of prevention. And we spend so much money, all those $6.5 trillion we're spending on sick care. I would rather spend that on well care. So a lot of you guys will go like, gosh, oils are expensive. Yeah, being sick is expensive too. I would rather invest to feel well. And if you're not feeling well and you already have some kind of chronic or degenerative issue, then we can also allow the body to rebuild itself over time. But prevention is key. All right. How do you know that you have a hormone imbalance? Any ideas? Here's a whole list of them. You know when your hormones are out of balance. And if you don't know, ask the people you live with, because they will tell you, or the people that you work with, because they know that your mood changes. Something is just not quite the same. Something's not quite right. Maybe you start to crave things and you want to eat different food groups that you normally would. You lose muscle mass. The tone of your body begins to change. Maybe you sweat a lot. Some of the other things, you might have that weight gain. You might have a lower libido than you normally do. What you're looking for is a change in your body's behavior. That's how you know. You're going to start just to feel different. You're going to think different. You might be more moody, and you might even notice some digestive issues. Because remember, did you see the list of all of the organ systems that were included that produced and helped to regulate hormones? So it's very important that you understand that a digestive problem could literally be from a change of hormones. And digestive problems could also affect your hormones. It goes both ways. Okay. Hydration is key. I know these are so little, but there are a lot of things you can do. Sleep, living the laws of health. So what are the laws of health? Sunshine. Exercise.
Proper
Nutrition.
water.
Hydration and water. Yep. Sleep. Elimination. Let's talk the bowels. We got to talk about that. I throw in the bowel talk. There are a lot of things that we can do. Do some cleansing quarterly. Give your body a break. Maybe you need to eliminate caffeine from your diet, or maybe you need to clean up some things in your nutrition. Maybe you need to exercise more. It's really important that you feed your body with good things and hydrate and move things out. But if you're not eliminating through sweating, through exercise, see how the body works together. You got to sweat, you got to exercise. It moves the toxins out of the lymph system. The bowels have to be moving. Kidneys have to work properly. Skin has to work. Lungs have to work. All these things right here tie in together. And by diffusing essential oils, you can help find some balance with that. And I also love, as hormones are changing, and ways that you can minimize imbalances, just simply use the aroma touch technique. Have somebody you love apply the oils to your spine. There is a whole technique that we could teach you, but in general, for right now, just do that. Okay. I like to look at all of these. I like to eat right, exercise, rest and manage stress, reduce your toxic load, having informed self-care, and then proactive medical care. This is the people you partner with. Those are your chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, medical doctors, naturopaths. These are the people you're partnering with. Informed self-care is about you making choices, reading, and finding things that work for you. So dōTERRA, we have a program. It's called the Live Guide. We do a lifestyle overview, and we make sure that you're able to have a guidance on this. So if you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in each of those areas, how can we best support you in the goals that you've made for yourself? And so we'll sit down with you. We'll make sure that you have answers to all of these things, and that will make a big difference for you. DDR Prime is another one of the products that we love, and I'm going to pull this over to, I hope you guys on live can see me. Maybe I'll do that. Can you see me? I don't know if you can see me. Let me look. But DDR Prime is one of our best oils to help support overall general health of your cells. And DDR prime has some studies that are phenomenal as it works with the body's DNA and helps to keep a healthy balance. So if you want a healthy response in all of your systems, then DDR prime is just an overall general great product to have. I love that it comes in a gel cap. It's very easy in a gel cap to just stick one in your mouth at the beginning of the day, put it in with your supplements, and to help regulate that. And it's just pure essential oils in a gel cap form. Right? There's several oils in here that help with anti-aging, cancer, thyroid, tissue repair, all those non-compliant words. But all of the things that help, these are symptoms that people suffer with every day. And so we're looking for ways that we can regenerate cell and tissue health. Now, we're not saying that the oil is going to cure these things. What we're saying is that it will support your body as it has the resources to feed and to rebuild things. All right. Oh, balance is my favorite. I'm gonna have some balance too. Jessica's snorting the balance over here. We all love balance. Happens to be my favorite. I use balance I use balance every day. Like, there's no way. It's by my bed. It goes under my feet. I put it on my neck, behind my ears. I like it on my chest. I put it on my nose. Like, I love this oil. It's in my diffuser. Whatever's in this oil, my body loves it. My body thrives on this. But it's really geared toward the central nervous system. We want oils that calm. So having this on your spine, this is great to just create a sense of calm. It's very, very grounding. I love how grounding it is because oftentimes we need to be flexible and moving throughout the day, but we also need to be rooted. And so this is a lot of trees in here, and so it really supports calming the system and grounding you. And also just, like I said, helping you be a little bit more flexible with your day. So we're just going to briefly talk about estrogen and progesterone because those are two of the hormones that have some buzzwords that you might know. These two affect your energy levels, your sleep cycles, your brain, bone, and heart health and function. It's also weight management. These hormones regulate a lot of things. So it's very important that we have a healthy balance in our body of these. One of the things that we can talk about is phytoestrogen. Phytoestrogen is a complex. It's a capsule that we have in dōTERRA. It's phytoestrogen complex, and it is an excellent way to combat some of the xenoestrogens that we get in the body. So phytoestrogens are actually already produced in your body. They're a natural, normal part of your body. Sometimes we don't get as much as we need. But just know that there actually are no estrogen in this product, but it protects your tissues and your cells from xenoestrogen. So let's talk about what a xenoestrogen is. Have you ever drank out of styrofoam or plastic bottles, or do you microwave things, or do we eat foods that are processed? Do we use products in our home that are toxic? I was thinking of hairsprays and different things. These are hormone dysregulators. And xenoestrogens mimic estrogen in the body. So what happens oftentimes is the cell has these receptor sites. And oftentimes the xenoestrogens will fill the spot that estrogen should be in. And so when you're on the phytoestrogen complex, it actually helps to remove and protect the tissues from the xenoestrogens. And so that's why hormone imbalances, I have a lot of times clients will come or people will ask about getting pregnant. One of the first things we do is a candida cleanse. So we do some cleansing because we want to get the xenoestrogens out of the system as much as we can. So this is a great way that we can help support the body. A lot of the essential oils that we have actually are really great and contain the phytoestrogens. So we'll talk about those in a minute because they're in our Clary Calm Blend. All of the oils in our Clary Calm Blend were designed to go into phytoestrogen. So we'll get there in just a second. There's often, as you see in the pictures, there's also food that contain these as well. So you can see some of those food groups up here that are excellent. All right. What causes PMS? Do you guys want to know that? The men we live with, of course, that's the answer. It's always the men's fault. And we do know that men have hormone cycles too. Yes. So our PMS is caused by a hormonal imbalance, which we've just talked about can be balanced by cleansing and living those laws of health, that just the natural things that our body needs. Fresh air and sunshine and water and elimination, all of those things are so important. And when you get out of whack, you're going to have some PMS symptoms. So I want you to know that if you suffer from some of these things, lifestyle changes will make all the difference in the world, right? And sometimes if you just get a little off track for a little too long, do a cleanse. We have a 30-day cleanse program in dōTERRA. Me personally, I love to juice cleanse. You guys know on my Facebook group that I just ended a 30-day fast, and I've been 100% raw for 2.5 weeks because I wanted to give my body a break. I'd been traveling a lot. I'd been eating a lot of fried foods because it was like the only thing available in Haiti sometimes, and I was feeling it. And I was feeling that too. I noticed that my cycles weren't as smooth and they were irregular. So this is a challenge. And so generally you have an estrogen dominance, which can go back to those xenoestrogens in the body. So again, cleansing can help make a difference. The other thing that I'll tell you about PMS is it has a lot to do with your liver. The liver has such a big job. It's the king of all the organs. So when you have your liver and it gets a little backed up, and then at the end of you're starting your cycle or you're ovulating and you might have a little bit of fluctuation in your hormones, on top of everything else, it has to regulate that. It's managing that as well, in part. And so if you have trauma, grief, or loss, or you're stressed out, your brain releases neuropeptides when you're stressed out, and your liver has to process those just as much as the food you eat and the other processing it does chemically. So PMS is also when you get a little bit toxic and your liver is dumping to take care of what it needs to do. It just kind of dumps stuff into the system. Now remember, if your bowels don't work properly in the kidney, then it's going to get recirculated into the bloodstream and it has to be stored somewhere. Depending on what it is, fat cells, back into the liver, circulating into the lymph. So this is, are you guys getting the idea? Like when you're septic inside and you're not hydrated and you're not cleaning out and you're not having bowel movements, it's all still there. It has to have exit routes. We have to provide exit routes, or over time we will be sick. That's the rule. And that's why it's really important that when we start to cleanse and we change our lifestyle, guess what happens? You start to feel better, don't you? I do anyway. All right, here's our Clary Calm Blend, and Jessica can pass that around. There we go. Yep. The Clary Calm Blend is fabulous. We call it a miracle worker in our house. When we had our daughters who were teenagers here, they would come over in the evening for sleepovers, and they'd be like, Mrs. Van Way, I have cramps. And I would pass that around, and it was almost immediate results for them. A couple minutes later, they felt really good of just calming the system. For some of us, you might just want to use that once a month at the beginning of your period for a week or a few days. Some of you who really need to have some regulation, you might want to use it every day as just part of your natural routine. You can put it on the bottoms of your feet. It is a strong-smelling oil, or you can rub it over your ovaries. Right? So we want to make sure that that one is something that you use depending on your body, and you can play with it, and you'll notice the changes because you'll notice the way that you feel. And you can see that these oils right here, clary sage, lavender, bergamot, Roman chamomile, cedarwood, ylang-ylang, geranium, fennel, carrot seed, vitex, palmarosa, these are oils that are high or contain phytoestrogens naturally. So what a great way if you had the phytoestrogen complex to help protect your body. You do a cleanse from time to time, you're drinking your water and you're eliminating, exercising, all those great things, and then you had this. This is such a simple thing to do. I would try that. It's a first line of defense. I would start there. All right. Whisper. Who likes the smell of Whisper? You like it? Whispers hasn't been my favorite, but I'm gaining a new appreciation for it. So that's one of the other things as you're talking about emotions and oils. You can look up what these oils represent and what they target. And I'm going to tell you, that you're going to be surprised that the oils that you don't love the smell, you're not going to want to deal with the emotional side of that, typically. That's what I find. But there are just some oils that my system, on a chemical level, it just doesn't need right now. It just doesn't feel like it, so I avoid it. But this blend also is called the Woman's Blend. It's a great hormone blend. It also has oils that help to support and protect your organs and tissues, right? So you can choose between the smell that you love and know that it will help to improve your general well-being. Yeah. We're going to kind of go through these ones a little faster. We've got some grapefruit. Grapefruit is one of the ones that specifically boosts progesterone. So the other ones, a lot of them we talked about, were great for supporting estrogen levels. This one here inhibits the cortisol. You see what you know that cortisol blocks, and it's the stress, right? So when we are under stress, it blocks the progesterone in the body. Such a delicate cycle, but yet so sturdy. So the progesterone is getting affected, and this will help to inhibit the cortisol from blocking that. Incredible thing. So you can put it in a gel cap. You can also drink it in your water. That's what I prefer to do. So, and by the way, you guys, this isn't like taking a chemical. It's not like it works directly with the hormones. It just helps to create a balance. They're usually precursors to the hormones, so you don't have to worry about it. It's almost like if I were to massage under my clavicle knowing that there's some lymphatic systems in there, like I'm not working directly on the lymph. This is the precursor that helps to move the lymph, right? There's lots of places on the body that you can do that. It's the same with these oils. They're not directly going to, you're not going to go in and get your blood tested and your hormones are going to spike like that, but you will feel a difference over time and maybe even immediately, but it'll be more short-lived until your system gets more into harmony. So we talked about this, eating right. Just live a healthy lifestyle. That's essential, and that's our message to you. Our message is that if you can make better choices than you made yesterday, then you're going to see changes, right? We all can look at our lifestyle and just choose in more. You know what that means. One of the ways that we ensure that we have the foundational health that we need is through lifelong vitality. So there are 3 bottles in here, and each one of these bottles has a really special job to help protect your body. When your body is fed well, then you're going to have the ability to have energy and to live well, to think well, to move well. So Alpha CRS right here, this one here is all about working with energy centers of the body. So it's going to work with the mitochondria inside of the cell. It's going to work with free radicals. It takes a lot of energy when bodies are trying to connect the free radicals. We don't want anything that radical floating around in our blood, do we? So this is great for energy, free radicals, inflammation in the body. This is just a great all-around product. I think everybody would love how they feel on that. The next one in here is called Z Omega. Looks like X Omega. And this has a healthy balance of those omega oils that we all need. There's also 9 essential oils infused in here, and so that helps with joint health, heart health, brain health. So what a great protectant. We learned earlier that we need healthy fats for hormone production and hormone balance. So this is a great way to ensure that you're getting them in the right amounts on a daily basis. As we, again, what are these called? Supplements. They are not your healthy diet. They are to supplement a healthy lifestyle, right? So if you have a diet that's very, very poor, these are really important for you. But just know that we have to make other changes too. But these are a great way to make sure that you're getting bioavailable food. So this one is the Microplex VMZ. Now, for those of you out there that are vegan, we also have a plant-based line of omega oils and things like that so that you can feel confident taking a plant-based product. But the Microplex VMZ is your vitamins, your minerals, and your superfoods. So we know that bioavailable food is key to nutrition. How many of you chew your food every time you eat? You chew your food till it's liquid. No, none of us, right? Very few of us. So when we chew our food, that's the first step of digestion. So as you think of putting things in your body, this is already broken down. It's already bioavailable for us. So this, I believe, is part of a natural, healthy lifestyle. I'm very natural. I would rather get all of my food from my nutrition. But I've just found, even as clean as I eat and as much as I juice and all the good things that I do, that I feel better when I have a supplement. And I really just want to, this is like my insurance policy. I have like a $1,500 deductible on my insurance policy, so I'm just taking my supplements because I think that that is a good insurance policy compared to the one that I have. All right. Let's talk about menopause. I am still hot. It just comes in flashes now. So everything that we've talked about, supporting your lifestyle, cleansing, all of those things will help an easy transition when your hormones change, right? We talked about how they leave the ovaries for the most part, and the hormones are more produced in your adrenal glands, and so you can start using oils more on your adrenal glands. Rub them right in your adrenal glands. It feels really good. You can use things like geranium, rose. You can use any of the oils like your Clary Calm. You can do that now because if you haven't gone through menopause, your body still produces hormones in all of those centers. So you can use your Clary Calm, your Whisper. You can use your grapefruit on these centers of the body, any of them. The intestines, your stomach, your pancreas. Just rub them wherever you want, and they'll go into those places. Gallbladder, I find using peppermint over the gallbladder really helps to regulate hot flashes. So just saying. Energy medicine tip there. We talked about the phytoestrogen, but as you move into menopause, this becomes more and more important. We have a lot of people with pinia and, osteoporosis, and that eluded me for a minute. But we start moving into some of the things where we need to protect the bones. Ideally, this starts not when you go through menopause. I really thought the bone nutrients should be taken maybe later in life. But they say that if you're premenopausal, that you should be taking 1 twice a day. And then when you get into menopause, you take 2 twice a day. So that way that you're really giving your body that extra the calciums and the things and the vitamin Ds and the things that your bones need beyond the lifelong vitality. Because remember, the lifelong vitality, this is an excellent general blend, right? It kind of, think of a bell-shaped curve like this. It's right there in the center. It's taken as a daily supplement with food because we want to keep you right here. But if you're like over here a little bit, you might have to supplement vitamin D. You might have to supplement some of those things that help you to bring yourself back into that bell-shaped curve. So just know that you're getting your C's, your D2 and D3, 1,000 milligrams of calcium, 400 milligrams of magnesium, and other trace minerals.
That's great for sleep.
Excellent for sleep. Great point, Danielle. So a lot of fun little tricks as you get into our community. Each of you who are not enrolled in dōTERRA, go back to the person who enrolled you and ask them to put you into their Facebook group. I have one called Try Essential First, but there are a lot of leaders out there with groups, and there's a great community feel in there so that you can get these little hacks on this. It's not going to say sleep on here, but we know because of what's in it that it's going to support a healthy sleep. So lots of little tips in there. Phytoestrogen we already talked about, so we can go ahead and skip through that. And I've worked with menopausal women who have almost kissed the ground I walk on when they go, oh my gosh, I was miserable. Thank you so much. This has changed my life. But I can just tell you from my own experience that it's not taking a product to make a symptom go away. This is about a lifestyle. This is about you choosing to take care of yourself. And if you're feeling a little moody, if you've got all these things going on, I'm here to tell you that you probably need more self-care. Women, we run. We run with our kids, we run with our work, we run with our partners. Like, we're busy, and we have big hearts. Our hearts are just big to help and to serve and to give. At least that's the women that I know and that I hang out with. And so, give back to yourself. The things we've talked about, you have to do them. You have to open the bottle. You have to drink the water. You have to go take that walk. We have to take the time for ourselves because our tanks get low. So if you're feeling a little PMS and it's not your hormones out of whack, it might be that you just need some self-care. You just need some you time. I don't know, how many of you guys have hidden in the shower with the door locked and the lights off so your kids couldn't find you? Like, I've done that in the closet, under the pillows. I'm like, no, don't find me. They're like sliding notes under the door. Like, sometimes we just need a break. And sometimes our, not all of you guys have children, but that's real for a lot of us. And even if you're just, even if you're working and you're busy, you need a break. You need a break from life sometimes. So a lot of things. For those of you who are not a member, we have a lot of great options for you. We have enrollment kits. We have wholesale pricing. You don't ever need to pay retail because it's very, very easy to get your own account. So we'd like to invite you to go back to the person who invited you to watch this, to find out, have a lifestyle overview and find out the products that are going to best serve you. Because when you sit down with us, we're going to look at all of the top health priorities that you have, and we're going to help you choose according to your budget, your commitment level, and your goals that you have. Now, I personally always ask people from 1 to 10, how committed are you to your results? Like, do you have a buy-in in this? And if they give me below a 6, then I'm going to say, then you just have to understand that your results may not be what you expect. But the oils, generally speaking, are beautiful to have in your home. Have them around for life's little emergencies. Have them around for some self-care and some pampering. Have them around for your foundational health. Because if you do this, then you are prepared. And so I'm talking about specifically about hormones today, but we all live busy lives and we have all kinds of things going on. So you'll find that the oils are really fantastic for all of these areas. They have become my family's first line of defense. So we'd like to welcome you into our dōTERRA family because we are a family, we're a community, so we take care of each other like that. All right? So that's that. Any questions on that? You guys? Yeah. If you guys have questions online, I'm going to have Jessica check that. I want to tell you another thing about a woman's body right now. So a project that I have in Haiti is called LETS. It's Lunar Essential Trackers, and I think it's really appropriate to talk about today because what I have found in teaching, not only in Haiti and across the world, but what I have found teaching right here in the United States and in developed countries, is that we as women and the men that we love, we don't understand our bodies. So I just talked to you about hormones, and maybe you learned a few things about hormones tonight. But how does that actually apply to your life? Do you know that if you start being in tune with your body on a daily basis, that you will feel more confident, that you will feel more empowered? So it's important to not understand just the hormonal cycles, but actually how they play out. So I created this bracelet. I had 50 Haitian women collect trash. We donate trash. We collect cereal boxes here in the States, and they find trash there, and between the two of us, we have them make this beautiful jewelry. Comes in all kinds of different colors because we have different personalities, and it all depends on whatever they picked up that day. So, why is this important? This is important because it's not just a really beautiful accessory. This is actually your cycle. All right, so this bracelet, if you were to look at it like this, is a woman's cycle. And I think it's fascinating because there's all kinds of ways that you can be empowered in your body. So this has a charm. You're going to take the little charm off the end. And on the first day of your period, you're going to put a charm. And every day that you move it, this bracelet will begin to tell a story for you. It's a story. And it will tell you where you are on your cycle. Now, in the United States, maybe you have an app for your phone. And that's totally fine, but it's not the same as being physically in tune with your body. All right? So the first part of your cycle, this first color on the bracelet, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. This is the first phase of your cycle. This is your period, and some women's period lasts for up to 5 to 7 days sometimes. And that's absolutely normal. You got to find your normal. And then as you leave this menstruation, you're going to move more into your pre-ovulation stage and your ovulation and post-ovulation. Now, did you know that there are only about 5 days out of the month, maybe 6, that you can get pregnant? So for those of you who are still in your childbearing years, or you have children or grandchildren, it's very important that we start talking about this. Oftentimes, these are subjects that we don't want to bring up with our children, or maybe we want to only teach abstinence in our homes, and so we don't want to even talk about it at all. But I have found in traveling that it's very important to take the mystery out. It's very, very important that our young men, our sons, understand a woman's body too, because someday they will be married. And I talk to grown men all of the time, and they have no idea what their woman's cycle's like. They don't even ask. They don't even know. They're like, whoa, you must be having your period. And it's like a kind of a jokey kind of thing instead of a partner and creating that. How many of you out there planned all of your pregnancies? You're like, honey, I think we should have a baby in, 13 months from now. So, like, if we plan on July 14th, like, how many of us did that? Like, I didn't even know anything about my body for, like, my first 4 or 5 kids. I was like, I got pregnant, honey. We're pregnant, And so I thought it was really important for me to teach my daughters. So this is something, the reason that I thought about this was I remember back to when my kids were, my daughters were teenagers, and I began to teach them about it, not on a bracelet, but this was a Standards Day method was something that I remembered teaching my own daughters and how I learned. And so I think it's really important. Now I have 4 sons, and I have made every one of my 4 sons, even my 15 and 14-year-old when he was 14, sit through this class. We talk about this, and my 9-year-old now knows about that. I never thought that I'd have to teach my 9-year-old, but I feel like it's really important. The average girl is starting her period between 9 and 10 years old. We have children starting their periods at 8, some even younger. So we won't talk about why or the theories behind that, but just think that if we don't prepare our kids to understand their bodies and their hormones, then when they get their period, they're scared. They don't know what's going on. So think back to when you started your period and what it felt like. So I think that this is just a general, it's kind of a fun little accessory that you can put on and make this an open conversation. So in Haiti, we teach all of the men and the women, and we also teach the families. So if you're 10 and above, you get to sit through this class. And if you're a girl, you get a pretty bracelet. And actually, the men are now asking for the bracelets because they're tracking their partner, their wife, they're tracking it on their bracelet. And I thought that was real. I never would have dreamed that one up, but they're doing it. So they like that, and they feel empowered. And they said, we want to wear this because when people see these on us, we want them to know we're educated and that we will respect women. I was like, you can have a bracelet. Here you go. So I'm really enjoying that. But imagine that if you just take this charm and you move it, it's just, wow, okay, my period's done. My period only lasts for 4 or 5 days. You're actually tracking it. And then you know what your normal is. So then as you get to these pre-ovulatory days and you ovulate, now this bracelet works if you have a cycle between 26 and 32 days. So that's why we have these wider gaps. The new bracelets actually are going to have 2 extra days on there just for insurance. Because we don't know how long your cycle is, So I don't know for sure. But in the bracelet, they're on day 14. And remember I said that you can get pregnant for 5 days out of the month? I don't know when those 5 days are. And that is because a sperm can live in your body, or a woman's body, for up to 5 days in the fallopian tubes, hanging out up there, waiting for a little egg to land. So we don't know when that is. So let's imagine, we'll pretend that you ovulate on day 14. You could actually get pregnant down here. So you have to start looking for the signs in your body. The mucus in your body will begin to change. It's totally normal to have a mucus release in the body, and it changes. And so when you're ovulating, along with looking at if you have a 28-day cycle, you're probably going to ovulate on day 14, and you can adjust that shorter or longer. The mucus in your body will be like egg white. It will actually stretch like 4 inches. And you will know, that's the day. But 4 days before that, once you've ovulated, then you cannot get pregnant. Once that egg is released and there's no sperm to create a baby, then you're done. You can't get pregnant anymore that month. And that's where the beads change. The color changes. So then, in Haiti, if you don't want to make a baby, we just say, no day, or like technically yes days, but wait till you're done menstruating likely. So yes days, these are your no days, and these are your yes days. And if you can track your cycle like that, you don't have to have surprises. You can actually plan when you want to have your family. And that feels very empowering for your spouse or your partner, so that you're making healthy, good decisions. Because I feel like for this class, for managing hormones and for just working with your own body, it's empowering to know where you are on your cycle. But in a global perspective, this message is very, very important, because it's important for a lot of reasons. It's important for poverty levels, because people sometimes have up to 15 or 18 children and they can't afford to feed them. It's important to take an impact on trafficking, because with trafficking, these children end up in the marketplaces, and they end up trafficked because their family can't take care of them. And so that's what the mission of Let's is to end trafficking, to take a dent out of poverty. And in this class in particular, I wanted to show you these because I want you to know the phases of your cycle. I want you to know, I didn't go over the details or the spikes and where the hormones are. I just wanted it to be very basic for you to get a picture that your entire menstrual cycle, it's going to last upwards of 32 or 40 days for some women. And that's normal as long as it's your normal, and you just need to know what your normal is. Right? And then you can kind of guesstimate and look at your body signs to determine where you are and when you're ovulating. That's important for those of us in our childbearing years, because I talk to almost every one of my friends, and they're like, that baby was not planned. Like, didn't mean to have another one, or how many teenage pregnancies do we have? So there's a lot of really important uses. The last thing that I want to talk to you today about is this really cool pink luminous device. I'm really excited about this. I personally, I'm just going to share my personal feelings. I have never had a mammogram, and never will I. I'm in my 40s, and that's when they recommend you have them. But I know many, many women who, the recommended with insurance payments and things like that, they recommend waiting till your 40s. But how many people get breast cancer in their 20s and 30s now? So this device was donated. It's brand new. I don't even know if it's in the marketplace yet. It's going to be, but it's called the Pink Luminess. And what it's meant to do is to help us identify tumors and things in our body. It's not a breast cancer's, it's not a device that helps to identify it, because sometimes we have fatty tumors and things that are not cancerous. But what it does do is it will give you, I'm not going to show you, I'm not doing it. But if you go in a dark room, so those of you here locally, my bathroom's dark, there's nothing in there, you can turn this device on, and it's quite spectacular. It will give you, you can look it up, just look up Pink Luminous if you're online. But what it does is give you this ability, like it turns on, and these lights are so cool. So if you put this underneath the breast, it will illuminate the entire breast. And I'm small-breasted, but if you have larger breasts, it does the same thing. You might just have to hold it in a couple different positions. But it literally lights up the breast. And what you're looking for is any type of shadow or mass that's in there. And then if you were to see something, it would give you an indication maybe to go further tested. But because I don't have a I'm never going to go get a mammogram unless I actually had a reason to. I'm not just going to go in routinely. So for me, this device is actually really cool. It's part of your once a week or maybe even every day, like you just if you're doing a manual check, still do those. Continue to feel, because you don't want to miss something under the lymph over here. Do a really good manual check, but then if you have a device like this, you're going to be able to just illuminate the entire breast tissue all the way over into wherever your breast tissue goes to, right? So you can usually get all the way underneath the arm. The other thing that you can do with this actually is for testicles. So if you've got a man in your life, now testicular cancer is not common. It's not like the most popular cancer out there, but it is just something to think about. When things are not flowing and things aren't right, this might be a good indicator. Now, ideally, we have things, we catch things before we can actually see them. But if you don't notice anything, and then all of a sudden you start to see something, then you're catching it very early, and that would be a good thing. So I just wanted to show you this. I think it's really cool. They have these little leaves on there. I don't know if you can see that, but if you're larger breasted, you just put more leaves on there because you have a little bit more dense tissue. And she told the woman who created this, she's amazing. She donated them to the Renan Foundation and our Haiti project because she wanted the women over there to be able to have maybe some opportunity to do prevention. But I think it's just a fabulous tool to add to our daily routine or even weekly or monthly routine that we're just checking the breast tissue. And since we were talking about hormones today, I thought it would be fun if anybody here wanted to try it out. If you guys want to check it out at home, I know that is it Walgreens? Pretty sure it's Walgreens. No. What's the other one? CVS. It's not. Sorry, Walgreens. You didn't get that deal. CVS just picked these up, and I want to say they're like at the $149 range. But it was meant for like one woman in her home. But if you have sisters and you have family close, you could probably share one, and you can just wipe this off. You just wash it. So anyway, that is our class today. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them online, and I will answer them as the class is over. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. I'm so grateful that we get to share empowering things with each other, and that's what you're going to find in our community. So we'd like to welcome you into the community. We always have some really great promotions going on, and we'd like to share them with you.